think so. I think it's just funny. You like to laugh, you like funny. That's what we got, man, you know.
It took place in that time, and it's like, I think there's some stuff that's, you know, both kind of funny and interesting about looking back at that period without sort of like, you know, trying to be whatever. And it's also kind of cool because it serves the story, and, you know, and kind of like how the stuff goes down. Like, you know, now you got so much more communication technology and a little bit more cowboy, I guess, back then.
A lot of laughs, man. It turned out really funny, and it's got a good story, you know, different than a lot of comedies. They're just kind of sketch comedies. The movie's as funny as you want, but also it has some good twist to it. You know, that whole thing in the movie they say is walk in, stick out, blend in by sticking out. You know, don't come in all hat in hand, walk in like you own the place. I was a fan of Ben's ever since the TV show that he did, the Ben Stiller show, and always wanted to work with him. Although I had a small cameo in Zoolander and Starsky and Hutch, played the heavy, but this was really the first time that we were able to really have a movie where we both were kind of significant parts.
Well, as we were writing the screenplay, she was the only person that we had in mind because we wanted someone who's really good at comedy and really funny, and she's the best out there with comedy. We also needed someone who's a great actress, which Jennifer is, because the movie takes dramatic turns.
I didn't know anything about the play. I'd never seen the play, and I didn't know much about the history of Barry, and certainly not his relationship with Sylvia. Just go, right, now I've got to do this, okay, I just have to get through it, and you know, it's going to be difficult, I'm going to have to take my clothes off in front of a group of people that I don't even know.
I've never been on a white carpet, actually. I'm a little bit worried about this foam. Just like foam, we might slip on that.
Well, we had to bring so much every day. I mean, it was such an amazing story and such a complex story and such difficult, challenging characters, and you just have to be as prepared as you possibly can.
It's really scary, you know, and it's really exciting at the same time. I mean, you know, I have been nominated in the past, and I'm really proud of those nominations, and it's an extraordinary honour. And but also, you never know, you know, you never know.
Hopelessly romantic. Big believer in, you know, giving flowers and having doors open for me. I love all that stuff.
boy's only 9 months old, so obviously he knows nothing at all other than food and dancing and sort of sleeping.
I think the appeal for men is the fact, obviously, that Cameron Diaz and I are the leads in this film, and we're just so great and fabulous and beautiful, and so that's one obvious appeal.
He's basically a kid from the wrong side of the tracks in love with a rich black girl. It's set in the Cayman Islands. It's a real youth culture movie. It deals with sex, drugs, violence, class issues, race issues, peer pressure. You know, I think he's just getting into his stride at this point. But, you know, it's, I had a lot of fun making this film, and, you know, and Will's a great character to play. You know, as an actor and a lover of film, it's great to have an organization like the Film Foundation set up for the preservation of film. It's something that our kids and future generations will all be able to enjoy. I can't believe how lucky I am, to be honest. I'm blessed that it was like, you know, it's all doom and gloom and it's very overwhelming, but in fact it isn't. You know, one by one we can all actually make a little difference, even if it's something as simple as unplugging your mobile phone charger. Thanks for having me. It's nice to be home. Amazing, you know, I mean, I met this guy, he was 24 years old, the director. He directed this movie at 24 years old, which I think is huge. You know, and when I met him, I got involved early enough that it was possible for me to sort of collaborate with him on ideas, and, you know, and he was open to that.
I was definitely not as much. If anything, I was just like, God, who can bother? It's too hard.
People have sleepovers, like grown women, not just young girls, have sleepover parties where they just, they come over, you go over to each other's houses, wear tiaras, and watch The Princess Diaries. It became something very lovable for people. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's a strong female character.
I was very overwhelmed, but also I didn't really know how to feel. What can you feel? It's something that there's no one to blame. There's no fault which lies in anyone. All you can do is just open your heart and, if you can, your wallet to those who really need it. She definitely contributed to, like, if I'm going to get an ulcer in the future, she's part of the cause. But I couldn't complain. I just loved working with her. She just made it incredible. There's an ache that you feel when you can't love the one that you want to love in the way that you want to love them.
Oh, she's exactly the way you would want her to be. But she's better. She's better than the way you would want her to be, because she is that sweet, she is that charming, but she just has a warmth and a gratitude for her life.
I do think that they've embraced me in some ways, in a way, because before, when I did Bird, it was an acknowledgement that they acknowledged my performance in that, the Hollywood Foreign Press did that.
It took me a lot of work, a lot of research and stuff, to just try to find the spirit of the man. So I started months before we started the film.
It's been a whirlwind. It's been like an amazing time, more so than I've ever imagined, or I never really imagined this year.
The Hollywood Foreign Press Association's honoring of the inner city filmmakers, which is an organization that teaches and educates inner city filmmakers or young kids, and also helps place them in jobs after high school and inside the entertainment industry. So it's a great reason to be here. I'm really excited about that.
Sociopath, I guess, look, he's possibly responsible for 300,000 deaths. It's so many deaths that it's incomprehensible to really visualize it in your mind. I can't comprehend it, really.
It's exciting. I can't wait to see the city. I saw it from the air. It's so beautiful. And I've heard so many great things about this place. So
This, being here under the Kodak Theater sign, being here inside that building earlier this year, being right here with all you people smiling, and this is amazing. Yeah, I think Denzel's an amazing actor, so it's going to be really fun to get on the horse with him and just start trying to create together. And I think he's a good director.
with the book and with the character since I was 7, but I really didn't want to play it at all, and because I didn't want to let her down. And I didn't think I was ready for that kind of a lead role or anything like that. And it was my agent, Lindy, who just went, no, you're doing it. And I went, no, I'm not. She went, no, you're going to do it. You'll really regret it if you don't do it. You're doing it. I went, no, I don't want to do it. She said, no, you are.
2 and 3, we obviously filmed back-to-back or simultaneously. It's been about 2 years. So for me, that was a lot easier because it meant one run at the character. I mean, between the first and second films, I found it very difficult because there'd been a couple of years and I'd done a lot more films, and I think the difference between 17 and 19 is quite marked.
It's amazing. I mean, it's just amazing to have my name amongst those amazing people. I mean, you've got Judi Dench, you've got Laura Linney, Reese Witherspoon, who I haven't seen that film, but I hear she's just magnificent. And so, you know, you kind of, it's an extraordinary thing.
I have, no, and it's a movie that I'm really, really proud of it. You know, it is absolutely beautiful. It's got some spectacular battle scenes, and yeah, it's all good.
I shouldn't think anything is remotely sexy. I think as far as all those things go, if you believe that, you also have to believe the worst, and I think I've had quite bad things as well. Away from home was a lot, and I don't think I'd want to do that big a film again, partly just because you really do get to a point where you just need to touch base with your family.
I was with my agent who'd come around to the flat to talk me through how I was going to make tonight's lasagna, and I got a call from my American agent saying that I'd been nominated. So yeah, it was pretty good. It was really good.
Chow Yun-fat I got to work with. Jeffrey Rush is back again, and obviously I got to work with him a lot, so that was great. Keith Richards, I got to work, he was on the film for 3 days and I got to work with him for 1 day. That was great.
Couldn't be more fun. I mean, all of us bonded pretty quickly, and you have such different guys, Bill Macy and Martin Lawrence, who couldn't make it tonight because they're both doing another film. Why? I should be doing another film. No, but I got to be here in London driving a bike with my wife. This is as much fun. This is just an inkling of how it's like I should have got paid for this.
Loads of difference. The original kids wouldn't watch. It's a little too slow. So I updated it enough that
I would take a kid and then you wouldn't get bored. Which means it had to have a kind of a cool plot, a little bit of physical comedy, adults like Robert Downey doing really silly things. I made them do really silly things. It's a wonderful life, really. This is what the whole idea about. It's a mixed up world in Santa's life, but it's really the whole premise that sold me on it early on was what happens if Santa's not around. Sweat the small stuff. My child and my kid and I get along better. I don't worry so much about little things. The bad news is I constantly worry about my health. I make noises just standing. And things don't work like they used to. I don't like it any more than the first time, but you know what? I'm getting older. I dig this business. I'll do what I can to stay in this business. At my age, as Travolta and I just finished a movie together, he said, it's amazing people are still calling us. I'm not a big stretcher, but actually I think men are pigs. Women are more like dogs because they listen. Dogs actually be your friend. You know, women are, I don't like to say it like that, but men are like pigs or buffalo or something.